It's like, it's almost like to be a workaholic is like is glorified, right? It's like
It's like a badge of
idolized.
honor.
Yeah, yeah. I only got 4 hours sleep last night, and I just took a red eye from LA to New York, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing 3 shows here and 3 conferences here, and it's like, I think that's what happened with COVID, right? It's like before COVID, we were all crazy, like especially especially me, because I travel a lot for work. It was like I was here one week, I was here the next week, then I was doing this and doing that, and it's like now looking back, like we were just like, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, and I think a lot of people felt like that, that we were just trying to do so much. And then COVID forced us to really just rest. And all of a sudden, take a good look at ourselves in the mirror and, all right, point out some things, right, that we need to work on. And going back to the finding your joy and like accolades and all that stuff, right? I mean, that COVID was really revealed the contenders from the pretenders, basically, But I'll ask you some questions, Ed. So just some straight questions. So you don't have any plans of committing adultery anytime soon, do you?
No.
Okay. You don't have any plans of stealing?
No.
Murder?
Nope.
None of that?
No.
All right. Do you rest one day every week, one day a week, every week?
Yes.
You do? All right, good. Well, good, because those are in God's top 10 list.
Yeah.
God put in the 10 commandments, right, the Sabbath, right? And he put that in the top 10 list because he felt that rest was so important to us. He knew that we needed a day. That's the reason for the Sabbath, because he knows us, right? And he knows the importance of rest to us. And I see it like when I don't get enough rest, when I try to push, burn the candle at both ends, it's like I'm just my life experience is completely different versus when I prioritize my sleep, when I prioritize saying no to certain things, right? When I prioritize just gauging myself. It's okay to work hard, right? It's okay to be busy and to get a lot of things done, but you got to know yourself, and you got to make sure that you prioritize that rest and be joyful in it, right? Not be not have anxiety, right? Because you feel like you're not accomplishing enough during that day of rest. But as we all know, I mean, God rested on the seventh day. Genesis 2, chapter 2, verses 1. Like I said, it's in the top 10 commandments. He made resting on the Sabbath a requirement of the law in Exodus 20. So I just think it's crucial for us to live the full experience that God wants us to in our life. I look at it similarly, like budgeting finances, compared to like budgeting time and energy, right? So we all budget. All the viewers out there, I hope you budget your finances. You have to budget your money because you only have so much money, right? In the same way, you have to budget your time and energy. You only have so much time, and you can make more money, but you can't make more time, and energy gets less and less the older you get. So when someone asks you for 5 minutes of your time, that's one thing. What if 10 people ask? What if 10,000 people ask? Or what if a person asks, for an hour of your time? It's like, okay, this is only an hour, but like, how much energy is this going to take from me? So you have to look at, and it's okay to say no to certain things like that, right? You just have to know yourself, and you have to know, your energy levels, right? And what you can actually commit to. I think so many times, like, and Pastor Kent talked about this, so many times we we want to be people pleasers, and we want to please people, and we want to say yes to every opportunity. And what happens is people just get burnt out, right? Because they're not moving in the Holy Spirit, and they're not moving in a direction that's God driven. They're moving in a way of pleasing man or pleasing someone else. And it never works out because they're not moving from a place of I guess, spiritual energy, right? They're moving out of a place like they're trying to please other people. So I think it's super important to, and also I'll say this too, like we always try to make everything spiritual, but it's like, I'm really down today, and, I feel like crap. I feel like the enemy's attacking me. It's like, all right, well, how many hours of sleep did you get last night? You should take your day of rest this week. We always try to make it spiritual, but let's look at it and self-assess ourselves and our health. What are we putting in our bodies? How much sleep are we getting? How much water are we drinking? There's all these things that sound like, common sense, but if we can tweak those things to impact our energy, and we can actually find joy in the rest of it. So those are some tips, those are some things, the way that I kind of look at my time, the way that I manage and budget, I guess, my time and energy. And I do believe that, God created the Sabbath for a reason, and he knows that we need a rest. So.
That is so good. To go back to what you said, like sometimes we are people pleasers, and then you say yes to everyone. But for one yes, you're saying no to someone else.
Yeah.
And the bad thing is when we say yes to everyone, usually we're saying no to God.
Right.
Like, I got to help this person, so I won't have alone time with God. I got to do this, and I won't spend enough time reading my word. So I think we just have to realize as human beings, we're not infinite beings. We're finite beings. So we say yes to someone or something, we usually say no to something else or someone else, and that person is usually God.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
No.
Yeah, I think because this one is very important, because we always figure out like, oh, we need to do this, do that, and I don't want to look like I'm lazy. But it's always good to rest. And if you want to find joy in rest, you can find joy that God gave you the ability to rest. Because there's so many people that wish they can get rest, but they're not offered that opportunity to rest.
Yeah, man, I've really over the past year, like, really prioritized my sleep. And people, like, there's always like a negative connotation on like sleep, like it's like a laziness. It's like, connected to laziness. It's like sleep is like, from a biological standpoint, sleep is the most important thing that you can do for your body. There's so much that happens during sleep and during rest. Just the rewiring of your brain, the rebuilding of cells, immune system, just your energy levels. I mean, sleep is so important, and we really got to find joy and peace in that, and prioritize that, because God, there's a reason, like we said, there's a reason why God put it in his top 10, because he knows that we need it. He knows that we need it. So that's all I got.
Yeah. And people will sacrifice their rest so they can get the next paycheck, or they can, or so they can like please other people.
Yeah.
One thing to realize is you can't pour out of an empty cup.
Right. Yeah.
And Brandon, I know you agree with this. The only way we can fill our cup is in the presence of Jesus.
Exactly.
But if we're never in the presence of Jesus because we're saying yes to everyone else, what are you really serving to people?
Where are you pulling from? Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about that, I think, in the last segment with the relationships. It's like, if you're only half full and you get with someone else that's only half full, you're just going to be pulling from each other. Right. Because I'm not full. I got to be pulling from you, and you got to be pulling from me. If we're both full to the brim, everything is just an overflow, and we can give out what we have in us. So that's a great point.
Because I think it's Psalm 23 that says that that our cup will overflow. So when you spend enough time with Jesus, people won't be getting from your cup. They'll be getting from your overflow.
Yeah.
but we think we got to pour, we got to pour, we got to pour. No, if you spend enough time with Jesus, people will benefit from the overflow you have because you're in the presence of Jesus.
Yep.
So I like rest. I take the Sabbath. I don't play with the Sabbath.
Love it.
Because what you said before is like you will burn out. And what's so sad is people know you're burnt out, and you won't even think you're burnt out. But then you start getting snappy with people, and then you start hurting more people because you're burnt out.
Yeah, it's almost like the analogy of like a drunk driver at a bar who, and this is someone who's under-rested, who thinks they're okay to drive home, right? It's kind of the same thing with lack of sleep and rest. It's like we think that we're good, right? And we're just fooling ourselves. We think that because a lot of people, that's just the way they've been operating for years. They've just been burning, and they think that's just the way it's supposed to be. I was kind of like that, I'll be honest. Like there was a span there where I thought it was like, I was like getting ahead on the competition at work or just in life by waking up at like 4 and working out and just like crushing my, a few hours of the day. That's good, but like I wasn't getting an adequate amount of sleep. And so like 2 or 3 o'clock would roll around and I would just be super irritable. And, then I would just try to stack on everything, just be so busy and just try to like, just do as much as I possibly could. Right. And I found that the more I prioritize my rest, the more I take days off, like you said, spend time with Jesus. It's like the time that I am operating is more creative, right? I get more out of the time that I have. I feel like I'm being used by him more because my mind, right, is one filled with him because I'm spending more time with him. And it's just, I just have more energy. And like I said, I can be more creative and it's more fruitful. It really is. From a place that I was working from before. So
thank you for watching this video. If you want more content, subscribe over here and watch the next video over there. God bless you.